want to live happily, joyfully, it is very important, like our mind works in a certain way. And if we want to enjoy life, it is very important that our body should be in certain way. So we have tools for both. Hello friends, how are you? This is Dr. Nagi, Ayurveda and medicine doctor, and also Isha Hatha Yoga teacher. So in this video we are going to talk about how yoga and Ayurveda can impact your health and how it is extremely beneficial for you, because if we know these things better and what are the benefits of pranayama and what are the benefits of yoga on health, definitely everybody will tend to do it, because yoga and pranayama doesn't cost anything. It is just normal thing which you need to practice daily, and it will generate tremendous health benefits and a lot of energy in your life. So let's try to see how this yoga and pranayama can impact our life in a miraculous way. We all know yoga has been originated in India 1000 years before, and these days the kind of lifestyle we are living, definitely whole world is looking towards yoga and natural remedies, which is Ayurveda. So the combination of this yoga and Ayurveda can definitely provide miraculous benefits to whole humanity. But what is needed? It just needed a little bit of awareness. When people will become more educated about the benefits of yoga and Ayurveda, definitely they will try to adopt these ancient methods of living. These days it has been proven like yoga and Ayurveda has a tremendous health benefits, and these are the two systems or two sciences which can be used as a preventive measures against various chronic ailments. As we know, because chronic ailments are not caused by some kind of bacteria or viruses or protozoa, chronic ailments are those ailments that are being generated inside our body. The causative factor for these various kind of chronic ailments is not outside the body, but it is inside the body, and our own body is creating these diseases against us. So and it's been seen that most of the times 90% of diseases are mind generated. The way we think, the way we feel, the way we experience life, that becomes a main cause for various chronic ailments. And in this text, Ayurveda and yoga can be great boons. If we go with various literatures, the most oldest literature that is present in whole world is one of the Veda called Rig Veda. And in Rig Veda, there is description of various kind of meditations which are extremely beneficial, and even the people in that era, they were also practicing meditations. That's how they protect themselves and keep themselves very calm. As we know, there are 4 Vedas. That is the oldest Vedas in whole world, that is Rig Veda, like I mentioned. Next is Sama Veda, Yajur Veda and Atharva Veda. So yoga is a science that includes various asanas, pranayams and also hatha yoga that has been originated from Yajur Veda. And Ayurveda, the science of food, how you should eat, what are the things you should do, what are the things that you should not do. So the basis for this Ayurveda is Atharva Veda. So Ayurveda is that science that has been originated from Atharva Veda. If we go with the archaeological evidences, yoga has been originated in 3000 BC. Yoga was systematized into Yoga Sutras by Maharshi Patanjali. He was the pioneer in yoga. Patanjali Yoga Sutra says the main purpose of yoga is to find your true self. That's how the explanation of Ashtanga Yoga came into life. And there are certain rules with which if a person walk on that, it will be extremely beneficial to find its true self. That's how the Ashtanga Yoga came into play. But eventually other forms of yoga also came into play, and slowly the yoga start converting into various modifications, and people start forgetting their original yoga, which was the classical yoga, the ancient form of yoga, and people started learning it with modifications. For example, bear yoga, lamb yoga, goat yoga and various kind of yogas, just for the sake of fun they came into play. But actually the ancient science of yoga, which has been described with certain purpose to know the real self, that has been forgotten somewhere. And now these days the kind of lifestyle we are living, the kind of experience, the thoughts, the emotions, the stress, the anxiety which we are going through, I think it is high time that we should adopt yoga in our life, so that we will become free from this anger, stress, anxiety, and we will be able to live joyfully. So two things come into play. If we want to live happily, joyfully, it is very important, like our mind works in a certain way. And if we want to enjoy life, it is very important that our body should be in certain way. So we have tools for both. If we want our mind functions at its best and we experience life at its best, we have a tool called yoga. And if we want, like, because of good food our body will become better and our health will become better, we have Ayurveda. So it is high time that we combine these both sciences and avail the maximum benefits. In yoga, they said there are 8 wings of yoga, that is called Ashtanga Yoga. Yam, Niyam, Asanas, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dhyan, Dharana and Samadhi. So yoga is a system which includes all these 8 parts. The most common word that has been used in yoga, that is called pranayam and yogic breath. So people are very confused, like how this yogic breath is very different from normal breathing. Let's try to understand how it is different. So when we take this slow, deep yogic breath, it will utilizes the maximum part of your alveoli and it rejuvenate lungs, or you can say freshen up your lungs with a lot of oxygen. And this is how it will make your lungs extremely healthy. And we know the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide is happening at the level of your alveoli, like in lungs it happens, or at the level of alveoli. These are the small bubble kind structures in the lungs. So their exchange of air happen. So when we are breathing like this way, the exchange of air becomes more and blood becomes more oxygenated. And when your blood becomes more oxygenated, definitely the oxygen supply to whole your body become increased, and that's how your organs will become very healthy with yogic breath. So that means, like, every time we should do yogic breath? No, you just give some time during the day to do this yogic breathing, because it has tremendous health benefits. Not much time, at least 20 minutes or even 10 minutes, or even start with 5 to 7 minutes and then enhance to 10 minutes, then 15 minutes, and then you can do for 20-21 minutes. It will bring you a lot of relaxation and a lot of benefits. So just it is a yogic breathing, just deep inhalation, very gently, very slowly and to the fullest. So it becomes extremely beneficial, and that's how this yogic breath is very different from normal breathing. Next most common term that has been used in yoga, that is pranayama. That is also related to breath. But there is another description regarding pranayama. So prana is described as the vital force because of which we are living. And when this vital force become very low, when your prana content becomes very low, we become very lethargic, we become very lazy, we become very unhappy, unenthusiastic, we become lazy, and our digestive fire also start weakening. And when these things happen, and if we are not doing anything to enhance it, rather we are not taking any help of Ayurveda or any kind of yoga, then what will happen? It will the food will not be digested properly, because digestive fire is not proper, and ultimately it will produce unnecessarily toxins, that is called ama, that is undigested food, which got deposited in various parts of the body eventually, and it will invite various chronic ailments. That's why it becomes very, very important that we pay some time during the day for pranayama and for yoga and for our diet, because these are the things which are going to keep you healthy. So what are the benefits of pranayama? It's been said in yoga, like when we start practicing pranayam, your prana energy start flowing and it will naturally detoxify your body. It is not you need to take some detoxification agent. These pranas, when your life energy starts working for you, it naturally detoxify your body. That's why pranayam is also known as your internal bath. Like for external bath, we are cleaning our body with water outside, but pranayam is your internal bath. So it becomes extremely important, like you pay attention, that you give some time for internal bathing. It is just like, because it is very helpful to detoxify your body and make your health better. Yoga says body is nothing but just a gross mind. So if wherever there will be mental knot, there will be physical knot associated with it, and wherever there will be physical knot, there will be mental knot associated with it. So in yoga they say your mind and your body is very much connected. And even in Ayurveda, Maharshi Charak, who was a father of Indian Ayurveda medicine, he also explains the way we think, that's how we will become. Like every thought, every emotion, whatever we thinking, that is impacting our body, and whatever pain is there, whatever we think, whatever mental pain we have, that will find expression on our body in the form of a disease. And whenever our body has pain, it will also find expression in our mind. So both this mind and body are extremely connected. That's why these days mind body medicine, this wing of medicine, is gaining a lot of popularity. The aim of practicing yoga is to removing these knots, either from the mind or from the body, so that you will be able to create the chemistry of love, joy and harmony and humanity with a beautiful heart. But at the same time, we also need to keep in our mind, like this practice of pranayam is extremely powerful. So it is very, very important that whenever you learn this pranayam, for example this Nadi Shodhana pranayam or any kind of pranayam, it should come from the right source. Because when this pranayam, because it is extremely powerful and you are not learning it from the right teacher or right guidance, then definitely it will not impact a positive impact in your life. So it is not like everybody can devise its techniques and start doing pranayam. That is not pranayam. That can be breathing techniques, but that is not pranayam. Pranayam is the same thing that has been taught classically in the ancient India, and it should be taught in the same way, because otherwise it will not yield good benefits for a person. And wrong practice, if somebody is doing wrong practice, if he is not doing practice in a proper way, for example somebody start deep breathing techniques after having food, somebody start having food and after that he started doing pranayam, so definitely it will disturb your digestive fire in a very big way. And then after doing pranayam, you will feel a lot of disturbance in your stomach, because the condition for practicing the ancient pranayam is you need to practice pranayam in empty stomach conditions. So no pranayam should ever be taught after having food. Next kind of pranayam which we usually listen about most of the times is Nadi Shodhana pranayam. The importance of this pranayam medically is this: it enhances the baseline consumption of oxygen. And this pranayam is extremely beneficial to deal with your emotions, to deal with your anger, anxiety, stress related problems. And if you want to learn the technique of doing Nadi Shodhana pranayam, then please write to us. We will guide you how you can do it, and we will send you the link. So there is a proper procedure of doing it, because right now I am just telling the importance of these pranayams. I am not teaching you how to do pranayam, because as a Isha Hatha Yoga teacher also, when we teach or when we conduct class in a certain way. Like right now I am in a conversation, I am just talking with you. But when we sit as a teacher in a class, or when we teach these practices, we teach in a certain way, so that our whole focus is on the participant, and they will also get the maximum benefit. Because when somebody is learning yoga sitting next to us, it becomes very easy for us, being a teacher, being a being a trained teacher, like what are the mistakes he is doing. Like suppose somebody is keeping hand like this, but the position of hand should be like this. So these kind of small things which makes a big difference. So that's why if somebody wants to learn, or if somebody wants to know more about these practices, or especially this Nadi Shodhana pranayam, if you want to practice at your home, at the comfort of your home, please write to us. We will guide you how you can learn it. With simple guidelines, you can do it in a much better way. But there are some other deep practices, because this Nadi Shuddhi practice is a very simple practice. So that's why we can teach you it. We can teach you this practice online. But there are other practices in Isha Hatha Yoga which need keen observation. Those practices we teach only in live class. But this Nadi Shuddhi pranayam, this you can do by yourself, because so if you want to release your stress, if you want to feel stress free, or if you want to just feel relaxed, please write to us. We will send you the link for Nadi Shuddhi pranayam, and you can make use of it, because it is extremely beneficial for everyone. But make sure the instructions, that becomes very, very important. Like I always said, all kind of pranayams should always be practiced empty stomach conditions. These days we are suffering from various stress related disorders like hypertension, angina, or sometimes some kind of allergies. But especially this diabetes, hypertension and angina, they are just growing like epidemic. So the holistic approach of yoga and Ayurveda is extremely beneficial to prevent and protect yourself from hypertension, stress and diabetes and other kinds of cardiac ailments. Because most of the times these days we are facing a lot of anger, hatred, stress, jealousy, and we don't know what we can do about these things, because people have come to this stage, like they feel it is normal to get angry, it is normal to be stressed all the time. But we have forgotten, like we have ways and methods to deal with these things that are being mentioned in our ancient sciences. Studies has been shown that by doing yoga and pranayam, it decreases the level of salivary cortisol. And not only this, it also decreases the systolic and diastolic blood pressures. This decreases the anxiety and increases emotional and spiritual well-being. That's why it's high time that we start adopting yoga, pranayam, meditation in our life and make our life beautiful. Not only this, it's been observed that yoga and pranayam is also beneficial in dealing with hypertension, diabetes mellitus, atherosclerosis and various kind of mood swings. But it is very, very important whenever you start doing pranayam or yoga, at least do it for 3 months for the best results, because this is not some kind of magic like one day you are doing and next day result will come. Definitely in your experience some result will come, but to change your physiology, that will take a lot of time, because you can experience things in one way, but this expression of the mind, find expression also in your body, it will take time. So that's why this practice of yoga and Ayurveda, they need a lot of regularity. In yoga, we have mentioned various kinds of asanas which are extremely beneficial to elevate your higher consciousness. And when a person is more conscious, then he will be more aware regarding anger, anxiety, and somehow he also will be able to deal with these outside not so good situations with the calmness and pleasantness. That's why yoga, pranayam and meditation is a need of ours. But at the same time, we also need to take proper precautions. For example, certain yoga practices are there for which some people are not eligible. And it also becomes very, very important that you learn yoga from a trained professional, like who has proper knowledge and who himself is practicing and he's trained from a proper institute. Because what happened, like for example, somebody has cervical pain and he has severe cervical pain, and if you just start learning yoga by yourself and you have no idea, like in cervical patients, all the headstands should be contraindicated. You should never do headstands. Being a doctor, because I can see these things very clearly, like many times I have observed when When you don't get yoga from the right source, being a cervical problem, you are taking headstands. I'm not saying headstand is wrong being a doctor. Headstand, maybe it is good, but you need to see like to which patient you should tell and which patient you should not tell. Because for example, a cervical spondylosis person is there, already he has inflammation in his spine between vertebrae, and when he is taking this headstand, he will not be able to take more pressure on his neck, and when he will not be able to take more pressure in his neck and he is doing it, he will land into damage, and then the name will spread like yoga has damaged it, but actually yoga has not damaged it, wrong guidance has damaged it. And it is very true, like even wrongly whatever we do, whether we are eating food in a wrong way or doing yoga in a wrong way or driving car in a wrong way, everything is the same. Because if we don't have proper license to drive a car properly and we are just driving like this, definitely we will not be a good driver. Similarly, if we are not learning yoga from a right source, then also it will not yield much benefits and it can yield more harms. Because for example, some elderly people are not flexible enough to do certain yoga postures. So, and if they try to do those hard postures for which they are not capable of, and they are just stretching their body, then definitely it will lead to some kind of muscle tear or some kind of breakage, and definitely this is not the purpose of yoga. Because now as a Isha yoga teacher and being a doctor, I can clearly see the difference. It's like there are certain practices which people can do, there are certain practices which people cannot do. So it becomes very, very important that before practicing any kind of yoga form, please make sure like whether you are eligible for that practice, make sure like you visit your doctor and and take a confirmation from your doctor like this kind of yoga practice whether you can do or you cannot do. It is not just push yourself into yoga and then just create more damage. So it becomes extremely important that your yoga teacher should be trained properly, and if there is a need for medical help, for example for advice of a doctor, please don't hesitate to take advice from a doctor, like to what extent you can perform this kind of yoga or this kind of practice, because yoga is all about your health and well-being. And if you are not doing it properly, then definitely it will do more damage and will not provide health. Even I have seen some wonderful yoga teachers who are not hesitant to take advice from a doctor, because definitely doctors knows human body in a different way, a yoga teacher knows the human body in a different way. So it is very important that we combine the knowledge of both, so that the person and the patient who is sitting next to us, he will get benefits. So that's all for yoga and pranayama for today, and I hope you will like this video. Thank you so much for watching me, and this is just I want to share my heart with you, because it is very, very important. Like while doing yoga, Ayurveda, pranayama, you take these sources, you take this knowledge from the right source only. If you have any questions regarding yoga or Ayurveda, please write to us. We will try to help you in the best possible way. And regarding Isha Yoga, even if you have any question, please write to us. We will try to answer your questions in the best possible way. You can either write to me or you can write to Eustace also. So any one of us you can write, and we will answer your questions to the best of our knowledge. So that's all for today. And with this note, I would like to say stay healthy, stay blessed. And if you want that links for pranayama, Nadi Shodhana pranayama, or any other yoga, you please write down to us. We will send you the link so that you can do this Nadi Shodhana pranayama at your home and enjoy its benefits. So that's all for today. Stay healthy, stay blessed, take care. Bye. Be happy.